Welcome back to the Black Bear News. Y'all, remember to like this video and also make sure that you are still subscribed. Some ghosts in the machine. Run around, little elves, little YouTube elves run around unsubscribing people. In this video, I wanted to bring you some economic news related to climate change. This is from a website called Renew Economy from November 7th. Banking giant HSBC gives shocking warning of U.S. of $10 trillion a year climate health bill. Major global bank HSBC has issued a shocking assessment of a world impacted by climate change, predicting the health costs of the world's fastest growing economies could reach almost $10 trillion a year by 2050. The report focused on cities across the 11 members of the G20 considered emerging markets. These are countries with the fastest growing economies, including China, Brazil, India, South Korea, and Indonesia, where climate impacts and rapidly changing demographics will lead to dramatic escalations in health costs. I mean, this is assuming, they're saying by 2050, this is assuming we still have, that industrial civilization is still chugging along, that people still have money, that we have a monetary system still in place that would actually be able to gauge or provide $10 trillion a year in healthcare. Looking extremely unlikely that by 2050 we have anything like a functioning society left. But, you know, this is just, you know, whatever. These guys like plugged in some numbers and plugged in some models, created some models and some graphs, and, you know, came up with this, the data says, without actually tying the data to all the other evidence that points to, you know, by the time we reach 2050, we're going to be in big, big trouble. And, you know, generating reports about how much healthcare is costing emerging market nations a year is going to be way down on the list of priorities, most likely. But hopefully, you know, hopefully we're all still here and we're all, you know, we all figured it out. We all made the necessary changes. We regreened the earth and everything's still going. And then, you know, none of this will be a factor. Sounds like a really nice children's book. Maybe somebody will write it one day. This confluence of factors, climate exacerbated health impacts, demographic change, and economic growth will bring substantial new demands for medical care. Again, assuming that anybody's around to provide medical care or that there's anything like functioning modern hospitals going. But, you know, maybe. It has been predicted that 264 million additional people aged over 65 will be living in China's urban centers by 2050. Again, given the trajectory, is it, you know, I guess it's an interesting study given the trajectory of climate change and temperatures and their effects on the planet. You know, we're not going to make it to 10 billion or 9 or 10 billion people. We're just not. I don't see how that happens because we just don't have the resources and we just don't have, you know, climate change is going to, you know, is coming this way to, you know, to mess up everybody's lives. And, you know, the economy is trying to go this way, or the population and, you know, yoked to economy is going this way, and climate change is going to boop. So, you know, and if we actually take climate change seriously, then we would be doing this with the economy and population growth, in which case climate change might go, all right, I missed you. Maybe. I don't know. Another economic story, climate change could end mortgages as we know them. This is from CBS News, November 8th. Climate change could punch a hole through the financial system by making 30-year mortgages, the lifeblood of the American housing market, effectively unobtainable in entire regions across parts of the U.S. And why would that be? Why would they be unattainable? Because nothing is going to be, nobody's collecting mortgages 30 years from now. In 2050, when all those mortgages are due, they might not even be able to get, 10 years out of mortgage collection. So, these guys are closer to the actual truth about the estimates of where the economy is going or where capitalism is going. That's what the future could look like without a policy to address climate change, according to the latest research from the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. The bank is considering these and other risks on Friday in an unprecedented conference on the economics of climate change. For the financial sector, adapting to climate change isn't just an issue of improving their market share. It is a function of where there will be a market at all, wrote Jesse Keenan, a scholar who studies climate adaptation in the Fed's introduction. No more mortgages. The housing market doesn't yet factor in the risk of climate change, which is already affecting many areas of the U.S., including flood-prone coastal communities, agricultural regions, and parts of the country vulnerable to wildfires. In California, for instance, 50,000 homeowners can't get property or casualty insurance because of the increased risk to their homes. And I'm wondering, I'm sure something like that is happening in Florida, South Florida, Louisiana, other places. Maybe even Texas. Southern Texas might be experiencing or about to experience some stuff like that. For now, no mortgage lender, portfolio manager, or buyer of mortgages takes into account climate-induced floods, except to determine if a house sits in a 100-year floodplain at the time the mortgage is issued. Once lenders and housing investors do start pricing in such risks, there may be a threat to the available 30-year mortgages in various vulnerable and highly exposed areas. I mean, and then they'll include, places like Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Tennessee, places where they get a lot of tornadoes, Texas, northern Texas. Floods, tornadoes, fires, all kinds of things. I'm wondering about crop insurance, farmers insurance, if that's going to exist much longer. Anyways, yeah, they're almost there, but not quite. But they're seeing, the writing on the wall, and the writing is, not too many paydays in the future for the banking industry or the mortgage industry or the insurance industry. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.